Good morning. My name is Glenn Hayward. I'm the owner of Good Works Auto Repair in sunny Tempe, Arizona at Price Road and Broadway. You know, there's an old Latin expression and it goes like this: caveat emptor. Well, broken down into English, it goes like this: buyer beware. Now, we've done pre-purchase inspection videos before. It's been at least a year or so, so I want to kind of refresh some things. And this particular vehicle right here was one that a guy who wholesales cars actually purchased to resell, and he thought he was going to make bank on the thing. So he goes all the way down to Texas, picks up this vehicle, tows it back, only to find out that there was something wrong. They told him that it had a brand new hybrid battery in it and everything was fine. It just needed to be charged up and everything would be fine. The problem with this particular car is that even the Ford Motor Company only has 3 charging units for the entire United States. And so when and if a battery is salvageable and can be recharged, you have to wait for weeks or months for that unit to get to a dealership and have the battery charged. You can't just say, hey, come to my house and charge my battery. So the first thing we found is that the battery was extremely low. These particular vehicles, these hybrid vehicles, start using the hybrid battery energy to turn an electric motor inside of the transmission to start the vehicle. So the vehicle wouldn't start, it wouldn't even try to start because the battery was so low, it wasn't able to do so. So I was able to take the battery out, go through it, recharge it here. I've got equipment to do that. After we charge the battery, we put the battery back in, and the motor would only run for about 30 seconds and die. Turns out one of the problems in it, the real problem, was the transmission itself. The transmission has 2 motors in, one that charges the battery and one that moves the car down the road along with the gasoline-powered motor. So what happened here is that the transmission was bad. It wasn't able to start the car and keep the car running when the motor needed to be started. So after I told the gentleman what the total bill was going to be for this thing, he says, there's no way I can't make a dime on this thing. I won't even break even if I sell it for its full retail value right now. And so I ended up buying the vehicle from him, and I fixed everything that was wrong. I had to put a transmission in the thing. The point that I'm making is that people buy vehicles believing whatever the seller of the vehicle told them to be true. The problem is people say whatever they have to say to sell something. We recently had another customer come in, bought this beautiful, pristine Volvo wagon, and she bought it on Craigslist, and the guy told her, oh yeah. She says, well, the engine's running rough. And he says, yeah, it just needs a tune-up. Well, so she brings it into our shop. We discovered that some hack had been in there trying to figure out what was wrong, and they cut all kinds of wires and replaced coils and spark plugs and everything that you might want to replace to do a tune-up. And the problem was that it had a dead cylinder. It had no compression in one of the cylinders. So it's a 5-cylinder motor. It was only running on 4 cylinders, so the motor's shaking, and so was the lady when we told her that she needed a motor in her car. She was shaking so bad she started crying because she paid full retail list price for this vehicle. She spent $5,000 on a vehicle that had a bad motor. The motor would have cost her over $6,000 to replace, so obviously it wasn't in her best interest to do that. So there she stood crying in my lobby, trying to figure out what she was going to do, because she had just spent $5,000 of her hard-earned money on a vehicle that was absolute junk. So what I'm trying to tell you as a consumer, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Have your vehicle inspected before you spend your hard-earned money. Don't wait until you spent the money and then bring it in and say, hey, tell me what's wrong with this car. The guy told me it only needed thus and so, whatever they told you. Have your vehicle inspected before, and then, and I can tell you this is the truth, in about 80 to 90% of cases, people who come in for pre-purchase inspection, I tell them to put on their track shoes and run like crazy in the other direction, because this car is a piece of junk and it's going to cost you more money than you're paying for the vehicle. And so, buyer beware, caveat emptor. Remember those words, and remember to come into Good Works Auto Repair for our pre-purchase inspection. It's only $100, and it's money well spent, because you're going to find out everything that's going on with this vehicle and what you may have to spend to bring it up to its full value. And so, thank you very much for your time today. And remember, Good Works Auto Repair at Broadway and Price Road in sunny Tempe, Arizona. Thanks for your time.